Tree Country 1330 WTRE. Good morning. It is 10:10 on this Wednesday morning. Sabrina's in.
Yes.
And you brought us some projects.
I did.
A project
yes,
too.
You said you wanted to do something fun last time.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit forgetful and forgot to order my owl pellets. But
That's
they are
to come, though.
Yeah, they're in my Amazon cart. So they will get ordered and they will be here hopefully for the next one.
So, well, you're with Purdue Extension.
Yes.
We just got really excited and jumped in.
Yes.
So tell everybody what your role is at Purdue Extension.
So I am the Agriculture and Natural Resources Extension Educator. So my job roles fall anywhere from going out and looking at people's trees, trying to figure out what's going wrong there, to field scouting, to doing youth programs and things like this. So our activity that we're doing today is something that I've done a couple times. If any of the kiddos listening have been to Resource Recess, you've definitely done this activity before. But we are making seed balls today.
All right, we've got James joining us this morning. How old are you?
9.
And what grade are you going to be in?
4th.
4th grade. At where?
North Decatur Elementary.
Okay. Most people know you, don't they? But
Yeah.
So tell us what we're going to make.
So we are making seed balls. So this is something that guerrilla gardeners use in urban settings, but also the Department of Natural Resources also makes a version of seed balls to replace wildflowers after wildfires occur out west.
Oh,
so
how
they
fun.
make like hundreds of these and they throw them out of helicopters.
Just drop them out?
Yeah.
How
Isn't that
cool.
awesome?
Yeah.
But I think it would be probably a little tiring to make 100 of these, but they're really, really fun to make a handful, and they're a really easy activity that you can do at home.
Now, we are on YouTube,
Yes.
so if we're going to make them live on there, and then you can go
Yes.
back and watch the video so that if you want to make them for yourself, you can do that.
Absolutely. Follow along. But yeah, so what we have today, there's 3 ingredients, and I'm so thankful James is here to help us because I think you're going to be awesome at making these. But I like having a friend to make these with.
Yes, it's
yeah,
fun.
You always have to grab a buddy when you do
All
a
right,
craft.
so we got our gloves on, right?
Yes. So we've got our gloves on so our hands don't get dirty. We also have a bag of wildflower seeds. Some of them are native, some of them are not native, and that's okay too. So with these seed balls, we don't want to throw them out in the wilderness. We want to maybe plant them around our yard where we can kind of keep things in check, just because we have a couple non-native flower species in here. We also have cups of soil. So if we want to show those to the camera, we've got
hold
our
it
jars
up.
of dirt. And then we also have clay. So typically we recommend using red powdered, red powdered pottery clay.
Okay.
But I couldn't find that at the dollar store this morning, so instead we're going with Crayola Model Magic, which is a water-based clay. It's non-toxic, it's environmentally friendly, and it will break down and serve the same purpose. If you are looking for clays at home, the only caveat we have is we don't recommend using a polymer clay because that is PVC based, which is a plastic, so it's not environmentally friendly.
So the Crayola is a water-based, easy to find, obviously, at the Dollar General.
Yeah,
So
it was
easy to
$1.
do. Love it.
So
Fun fact, Magic Model's my favorite clay.
That
well,
is a
you
fun
are
fact.
in luck because we've got some. It's not a fun color today. It's just white.
That's all they made.
Now
Oh,
let's see. Well, I've actually got some yellow in here too. So we could have done yellow, but today it's white.
white's a good idea. And so we see this a lot out west that they use these. You were talking about them dropping them out so when the fires come across, and you can then replenish what nature is.
Yes, absolutely. And here's some clay for you. So I also talked about guerrilla gardeners. So some people might be scratching their head, what the heck is a guerrilla gardener? So those are gardeners that they walk around in cityscapes and things like that. And they might see construction sites where the buildings are finished, but there's no flowers growing or anything like that yet. So they'll make up a whole bunch of these seed balls and actually keep them in a bag or their pocket, and then they'll just kind of chuck them
Just
over a
toss 'em.
fence or
How
somewhere
fun
where
is
they think they
that?
need more wildflowers. Yeah.
Can you show the camera your clay so they can see what it looks like? Yeah, there
Yes. So just plain old white Crayola air dry clay. Oh, you're gonna throw it at me. There you go. All right. So next, with our soil, we're starting with 7 parts soil, and we're doing 1 part seed. So I'm using a teaspoon to measure. So I've got
Okay.
7 teaspoons of soil. I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of wildflower seeds Here, James, if you want to go ahead and dump that into your dirt. And I'll do the same. And I also added water to my soil before I came. So oftentimes when we buy soil, or if it's been sitting in a bag, it can be really dry.
Okay.
And that makes it hydrophobic, which means that it's not going to accept water into it quite as well. So if you pre-wet your soil and then you can hand mix it, ideally we want to be able to squeeze that soil in our hand and it'll hold its shape, but not be too overly saturated where it's dripping water everywhere.
But not too dry either. So
Yep,
it falls
not
apart.
too dry either.
Just
Yes.
right, like Goldilocks.
Yes. So next we want to kind of stir up our dirt and our seeds. So
You
we're
can
going to
put your
mix
clay
that
on your
together.
plate. Yeah, there you go.
That's why we got our gloves. We're going to get our hands dirty.
We're mixing it up, and you said it's 7-to-1, right?
Yep, 7-to-1 for our seed to soil. So 1 part seed to 7 parts soil. And then ideally we are doing 3 parts clay.
Okay.
But it's hard to measure this clay, so we're going to measure with our hearts and see what feels right. But I like, when I make my seed balls, to flatten out my clay and put it on a styrofoam or a plastic or paper plate.
Flattening it out. Okay.
Yes. Get it nice and flat, easy to work with. And then we're just going to completely coat our clay with our soil and seed mix. And we might have a little bit of dirt left over, and that's okay. And then we're just going to start folding it together. So our beautiful white clay is going to turn into a nice soily brown.
And then just fold it over. Roll it like a breadstick.
Yes.
And then you just kind of keep working it. Is that what it, like,
Yeah,
just
you
work
just
it?
keep working it together so that clay is going to get in between the seeds and the soil and help act like a glue to hold it all together. So then we'll have a nice clay ball shape at the end. And this is air dry clay, so we can take it home, set it in our windowsill overnight so it gets some sun on it and dries out. And then it'll be dry and ready to go for us to throw somewhere.
Just throw it out and let it grow.
Yes. So you can take this home and throw it in your mom's garden bed or your aunt's garden bed. And so it's a water-based clay, so it will eventually the clay will break down as it gets rained on and weathered over time.
Now, will it, do you expect it to get hard? Like, you're going to let it set out overnight.
Yep.
So do we expect it to get hard in that time?
Yes. Yep.
So that is normal. If you're doing this at home and it sets out, it's normal for it
Yes,
to get hard.
it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
How long will these keep?
They should keep as long as you keep them out of the weather, forever. Now, something that we'll see over time with seeds is they lose their germination rate over time. So our germination rate is the percentage that a group of seeds will actually sprout.
Okay.
So when these seeds were donated to us, they had about an 85 to an 80% germination rate. Now, over time, that's going to dissipate. At what rate, I'm not sure.
Sure.
But hopefully some do sprout.
That's right.
Yes.
And then you can just throw it wherever. All right, James, what do you got? Let me see it.
Yep, let's see it. Look at that.
Ooh.
That is a ball of dirt right there.
Nice. Can you hold it up so they can see it in the camera? Hold your balls up. Perfect.
Awesome.
They look like Oreo balls, but they are not, so
Yes,
do not eat them.
That's what I got to tell my kids when we do this.
That's
is
right.
It does not taste good.
That's right.
No. It is
So it'll
dirt.
set out overnight.
Yes.
And then after that, it's ready to go. So you can
Yeah.
throw it somewhere.
Yep, you can throw them somewhere. You could also plant them in a pot and see what grows. Or you can plant them in a flower bed. Some other fun activities that I like to tell kids in my groups is you can play baseball with them. So if you have a baseball bat, you get to pitch it once. You get to hit it once
and it'll
because
just
then
go.
it'll explode
So you
everywhere.
need to hit it towards an area you want it to go.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh, you could do that over the flower bed, couldn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
lots of fun ways to use these. But yeah, so that took us like, what, 2-3 minutes?
Yeah. Was it easy to do, James?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
And you got to use your clay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have always been a clay Play-Doh kid.
Love it.
Forever.
And they don't have to be in ball form. You could turn them into anything. I've had kids make butterflies,
so
hedgehogs.
you can make a shape like to give as a gift even.
Yeah, you could. These would be a great Christmas gift
It'll
idea.
be fun.
Yes.
So I'm thinking too, you could use a cookie cutter.
Yeah, you
To
could
get
use
your
a cookie
shape?
cutter. Yeah, if you want to keep them flat, Yeah, there are so many great things that you could do with these.
So you need soil,
Yep.
you need seeds,
Yes.
and you need some form of
Some
clay.
form of clay, just not polymer based.
And we learned Crayola is water based.
Yes, Crayola is water-based. I did my research beforehand. That way I knew I wasn't giving bad advice before preaching to the people.
All right, and we do 7 parts soil, 1 part seeds. You could do any
Yep.
mix you wanted.
Yes.
It's just 7 to 1.
Yes, 7-to-1 ratio, and then ideally 3 parts clay, but we measured with our hearts and it turned out fine.
It's perfect. What a
Yes.
fun project. I love it. All right, well, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes and talk more on Purdue Extension on Tree Country,
Awesome.
1330.
All right. There are classes.
Tree Country 1330 WTRE 1022. We're back with Sabrina. We just made our I'm going to call them flower balls. That's not the correct word.
Yes, you're good. Seed balls, flower balls, whatever you want to call them.
What a fun project. So they were wildflower seeds ish.
Yes.
Just not all native. So tell us what was a mix of what was in there.
Absolutely. So in my mix, I had coreopsis, which are native, coneflowers, which are native, lupine, which is, I put native with an asterisk. So they're native around the Indiana Dunes area, so not necessarily for our region. There's also some poppies, which the scarlet poppy is native to our area. Baby's breath is not native. There's flax, which is not native, 4 o'clocks, which are not native, and then cosmos, which are not native.
Okay, so a great mix in there.
Yes, so it'll be beautiful when they sprout.
It will be.
Yes.
So for someone that may not know, because I didn't think about this tonight, but native,
Yes.
meaning that it's an Indiana type of.
Yep. Yeah, they would
residential.
naturally grow here without human intervention. Whereas not native means that we've brought them in from another country and then we plant them here. And then invasive is they are not from this region and they do way too well.
They take over.
Yes.
I have a vine right now that is invasive.
Oh gosh, is it a grapevine or?
No, I'm not sure. Like it's I'm sure it's a weedish type vine.
Yeah.
But it's kind of pretty. So but it's just really aggressive.
Yes.
So we've been in a little battle because it wants to like take over my front porch, and I'm saying we are not doing this. So.
I know. I made the mistake my first year in my house. I had a morning glory vine, and I thought, oh, those are so pretty. I should leave it. And then it grew into the siding of my house, and I was trying to rip it out without ripping off my siding. Yeah, morning glories are not my favorite anymore.
Yes, they where it's welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are moving into Fair Week. Tomorrow is the official kickoff.
Yes, but right now they are checking in animals. So if you've got swine, you'll see Chris and Nora down at the livestock barn hard at work. So they are checking in swine till noon today. And then we will have poultry check-in from noon to 4 p.m., goat and rabbit check-in from 4 to 8 p.m., and dairy cattle check-in tonight from 6 to 10 p.m. Tomorrow we've got sheep check-in from 7 to 9 a.m. and horse check-in from 9 to 6 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Friday, the beef cattle check-in is 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
It's so crazy because I was out at the fairgrounds on Sunday, and it was pretty bare at that point.
Yeah.
There was one lonely ride from Lore's.
Yes.
And so, we were just joking about it, but literally by Monday morning, it was go time.
Yes. So, I was running a little bit late Monday morning, and so I think I was pulling into the office around 9, and for the first time ever, I hit a traffic jam on
Right
Park
there,
Road.
right
yes,
there.
on Park Road, and Nora was behind me, and she was actually in her Ranger, so she was able to off-road and get to
away.
the office, and I had to sit in line for a few more minutes. But yeah, it was crazy seeing them all roll in.
Now, animal check-in. Now, James is going to be showing this year.
What are you showing?
A goat and 2 sheep.
That's exciting. Do they have names?
Bob, Sheila, and Blackie.
Those are great goat names and sheep names.
Yes. So, James is a 4-H'er. Are you nervous? This is your first year in 4-H.
Very.
Very nervous.
There's no reason to be nervous. It is so fun.
And there are so many kids. I know there were a lot of new members this year for 4-H'ers.
Yes, there is a lot of new members. I don't have the exact new member numbers. I should have gotten those. But I do know we're up again from last year. And we've got a ton of mini 4-H'ers. We've got well over 100 mini 4-H'ers, which is just awesome to see more kids coming into the program.
4-H is alive and well in Decatur County.
Yes, yes.
And they've been bringing in their other projects outside of animals.
Yeah.
That check-in's been going on, and I was out there Monday night.
Okay.
And they were bringing in the farm scenes.
Oh, I love
And we're
those.
doing this next year, just so
Yes.
you know. We're doing it. Outstanding. Like, so creative and so cool. Like,
yes. I think, was it last year, there was a kid that made the replica of the school bus that
Yes.
got stolen?
that is right. Yes.
Yeah, I think I saw that one up at the state fair, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was either last year or the year before. But
Yes.
that was a good one.
Yes, I was really excited to see that. I thought that was really, really funny.
But I think it's important for people to know, like, just if you don't have animals, that doesn't mean you can't do 4-H, because there are so many projects.
There's a million things. I know there's a whole category for Legos, like cake decorating, like all kinds of stuff. The cake decorating was always the one when I was little. I would sneak and like try and eat the icing off the cakes.
Yeah.
But they use that royal icing, so it doesn't actually come off.
It doesn't taste good and it doesn't come off.
No. But yeah, my mom would always, she'd see me and my little buddy trying to eat the cakes and get on us and chase us out of the building.
The projects will be open to public viewing tomorrow.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. So I believe the barn's open for that at 4 p.m. And then, yeah.
It's go time, right?
Yeah, it's go time. It's so weird because I'm there every day around the clock. So it's weird to see people kind of coming in and utilizing the fairgrounds, but also like there is this sense of excitement in the air, and I'm always really excited this time of year. It's
The excitement builds, and then you see it come to fruition, and
Yes.
and like I said, just overnight, I was like, wow, like we're it's almost fair time. So,
Yes.
in addition to fair stuff, though, you do have other parts of your job that still continue.
Yes.
So you've got a couple other things to talk about today.
Yes. So I've got 2 other kind of big notes. But the one thing I do want to talk about that's really important is pesticide applicator recertification. So if you are a private or a commercial applicator, you may have received a postcard in the mail from the Office of the Indiana State Chemist saying that you still need 1 more credit. And that might not be accurate. So if you did get a postcard, I would invite you to call our office or get online and double check your credits that they're all recorded. So there was a hiccup at the state chemist office. They meant to send those postcards only to the people that needed 1 more credit, but they accidentally sent them to all of the pesticide applicators.
Accidents happen.
Yes, accidents happen. But so if you are concerned about your credits, you can absolutely give us a call at the office, and so we can check your credits for you, or you can check that online on the Office of the Indiana State Chemist website as well.
Your phone number for them to call?
Yes, my phone number is 812-663-8388. Or if you're more of an email person, you can email me. My email is Allen, ALLEN 484 @purdue.edu.
Very good. good.
Yes, so I wanted to get that out there because we've had a couple people come to us and panic just because, if you think you have all your credits and
Right, and then
suddenly you
not.
don't. Yes, and then one more note on that. So the state chemist office also did let us know that this next year for 2026 is going to be a large re-registration year. They're predicting 40,000 applicators renewing their license across the state.
Wow.
Yeah. So they said when you get your renewal letter in October to please fill that out as quickly as possible because they think that there could be a good delay in getting
The
that stuff
processing.
entered. Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
That's a huge number.
Yes.
Great,
that
but
is.
huge number.
It is great, but yeah, I am glad that I am not the person that has to do that job.
Now, I love
Yeah.
this. I love your next topic because you like creepy crawly things.
Yes.
And she likes snakes.
I love snakes.
I know.
You love snakes? Oh my gosh, I've got a friend here in the building
yes,
today.
you two can be friends. The rest of us are not going to be friends when it comes to snakes.
Yes. Have you found any snakes this year?
Yes.
And one in the driveway,
Ooh.
wasn't there?
There's one in the driveway, and me and my grandpa found one on the road.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was thinking about that long.
Did you help move it out of the road?
When we touched its tail, it turned back around and went.
Oh, it took
It
off.
slithered away.
It was like, I'm getting out of here.
They were on their way to the other house, and when they got there, he was like, James, tell her what you did. Because, I am not
Yes.
a fan. He was like, I touched the I'm like, no, we do not do that in the middle
my
of the
gosh.
road.
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
Hey, I get it. You got to look out for your reptilian friends in the roads. So snakes and turtles, they're cold-blooded, and those roads get nice and warm. It's an awesome place for them to sun themselves until a car comes along.
Then, not
Yeah.
so good.
So you guys did a good deed.
You got the snake out of the road.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So tell us what creature you've been dealing with.
So I have been waging a war against squash bugs. I have 3 container garden bins. And when I say container garden bins, I mean I have 3 5-gallon buckets that I have 1 tomato and then 2 zucchini plants in. And I noticed in June, these kind of big, they're a little bit over a 1/2 inch long, gray bugs, long antennas, flattened bodies. And at first I thought, oh, that's a soldier bug. I think that might be good for me to have. And then I checked myself, and it was
Not
a squash bug. Well, maybe it's a good thing that it's named a squash bug. A little bit more research. Oh, no, it's a very bad thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Are these common? Like, I don't know that I've ever heard of them.
Yeah, they're common to Indiana, and yeah, I had never heard of them either until I started growing zucchini, and I saw them on there. So yeah, the adults, they're a little over an inch, 1/2 inch long. They've got a dark gray to brown body. Yeah, they are about that long. And then their bodies are flattened. They have a piercing sucking mouth part, so that is specialized for them to pierce their needle-like nose into the tissue of the leaves and suck out all the sap. So you might see damage from these.
It would kill your plant.
It'll definitely, well, and maybe in large numbers. Do you know something on this?
I was walking one time, and I saw like this giant zucchini,
Yeah.
and there were like 50 of them on it.
Oh my
Bugs.
gosh.
A
Yeah.
bunch.
So they can quickly overtake. So one adult female can lay up to 20 eggs at a time. And yeah, you'll see damage initially. The margins of your leaves will start to get yellow and brown first, where the leaves all yellow and yes. And yeah, they drain the sap out of the leaves over time, and then they can move to the fruits and the stems as well.
So they can like wipe your garden out.
Yes, they
Like
can
quickly?
really take over.
Oh.
So we don't recommend pesticide for these. Typically what we recommend is scouting for them. So doing like what you did and seeing like the 50 of them. So did you pick them off, or are you just like, ew, those are yucky?
I looked at them for like a minute, and I was like, huh, what are those? And then they started moving away, and there was like this
They're
much of
quick.
it left.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, they are quick and they are clever and they are the bane of my existence. But I thought, well, where did these come from? Because they don't look initially like they have wings. And I thought, well, they must have ridden in on my plants because I when I bought them because there are no other cucurbits around me. So those being things like squash, pumpkin, zucchini, that kind of stuff. But I did more research, and they actually overwinter as adults in debris and things like that, and then they will fly in. So it terrifies me that these things fly.
Fly?
Yeah,
Ew.
I don't want any of those buzzing anywhere near me. See,
No.
bugs are not as I don't love them as much as I love snakes.
I don't like either one, so.
Yes. So they fly in around June time, and then they feed on your plants, and they lay their eggs on your plants. So when we are scouting for them, typically during the heat of the day, I've been finding the adults near the base of the plant, so they like to hide in between the stems where the leaves come out. And then during the evening, when it's not quite as hot, they'll venture to the leaves and lay their eggs. Did you see any eggs when you saw them?
I saw about like 40 of them.
Yes. So they can
Lots of
lay.
little ones.
Yep, they're little tiny. They're a really pretty color, actually. They're like a golden yellow to an amber bronze type color. But you will typically find them on the underside of your leaves, specifically where the veins create a V shape, so they're tucked in there nice and safe. And then I have tried 2 different methods so far on manually removing these. So I have tried using a card to scrape off the eggs, and I feel like I did a lot of damage to my plant, but I scraped them off into a container of warm water and dish soap.
Okay.
The warm water and dish soap will work great for your adult insects or your nymphs. So just pick them off, throw them in that water. They go away pretty quickly. But another recommendation that I actually heard from some gardeners is to take some duct tape. And so I got a roll of duct tape, and they came off so easy. I got them all off in one strip.
And probably not near the damage.
No damage to my plant at all. It didn't take off the underside of the leaves at all. And then you can just fold up that piece of duct tape and throw it away.
Let them rest in peace.
Yes, they can rest in peace. Get out of here. You are not eating my zucchinis.
Just light a match.
Just light a match.
Oh, yeah, or you can light them on fire. Yes.
Sabrina just does not want them to come back.
Yes, I don't want them to come back. But yeah, so when we're doing that, we're knocking out, 20 to 40 eggs at a time, depending on the population, which those eggs take about 10 days to hatch. But if they're all hatching, that's how you can quickly get overwhelmed and see like the 50 of them like you did. Yeah, so if we're scouting around this time of year and just keeping up with, removing those eggs, picking off those bugs, throwing them in the soapy water, you should be pretty good at being at combative levels with them. Another recommendation we have is to make sure that you're fertilizing your plants so there's constant new leaf growth, where the plant can kind of out-compete some of the damage being done by those insects.
Well, I would say how fun, but it's kind of gross. But you can but you need to get ahead of them before they get your garden.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, gardens are full of things that we love to eat, and also full of things that pests love to eat.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's touch on the community garden. We haven't talked about that yet this week.
Yes.
We'll be right back on Tree Country. Tree Country 1330 WTRE. That's right. We're headed out to the fair starting tomorrow. We're excited about that. Have you seen our booth yet?
I have not seen your booth yet.
So it's super cool. Russ Hubler partnered with us, and it is one of the new Ford Raptor trucks. Now, it's not the physical truck. It's a very large picture of it. But you can get you can hop in and get your picture taken in the truck.
That's awesome. So I did see that. I didn't realize that was
is
with you guys. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I walked past that yesterday and I thought that was so neat.
Yeah, you just can pop right behind that and get your picture taken, and then you tag us. There's a QR code that you can submit it.
Okay.
And then we've got all kinds of prizes to give away.
That's exciting. So I tried to convince my friends to come down. Maybe now I'll be like, hey guys, we could win a prize if we take a picture together.
That's right. In the new Ford Raptor truck.
Yes, exciting.
It's so fun.
That's
Lots of fun
awesome.
stuff. So let's talk community garden really quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I drove by day before, and I'm like, what? Like, it looks great, and it's growing fabulously.
Yes. Gosh, I actually have not made it out to the community garden this week. I drove out there yesterday, and then I saw a screw in my tire. And thought, okay, maybe I should go home before my tire deflates.
That's a good idea.
I guess I did make it out, but I didn't actually get any work done. So hopefully I can get that done later this week. But yeah, so things are growing. If you haven't been out there yet, so it's in between the health department and that park that's right next door on Ireland Street. And we have things growing like crazy. They've been harvesting zucchini and cucumber recently. The herbs are ready to go. I believe there's some cucumbers sitting out there.
We love those, don't we?
I love cucumbers.
Yeah.
Yes, cucumbers are a great snack. Do you eat them just as like sliced cucumbers, or do you eat them as like pickles?
Sometimes I just take off the wrap and...
Yes.
Yeah, he will just eat a whole cucumber.
That's awesome.
We take the...
Yes.
We peel it. But he'll just eat. He's not good about sharing a cucumber at all.
They're good. They're
No.
full of water and other like nutrients.
Yeah, we
They're
love them.
Awesome.
We fight over those, don't we? Yeah.
Love it. And when they're grown from the garden, they're so much better than
Such a
store-bought.
good flavor.
Yes, they taste wonderful. But yeah, so if you are interested in getting some of this produce, we now have a shelf out there. So we have 2 rain barrels up next to our garage, and then in between those rain barrels is where our shelf is now. So as people come and harvest vegetables, they will lay what they have for people to take home just on that shelf, so you can just show up and take what they have. And then after a certain period of time, after a certain period of time, what's not taken will be donated to the Greensburg Bread of Life. And I think tomatoes are going to be coming up soon. We've got a lot of green tomatoes.
July, so I would think here in the next couple weeks.
Yes, I know the cherry tomatoes were looking pretty close. But yeah, there is a ton of green tomatoes on the plants, so we should have a ton of tomatoes soon.
What a cool project this has been.
Yes, it's been really fun. I'm really excited for it. Actually, I have written down in my notes. I'm so glad
You're
just
the most
remembered
organized
this.
with your notebook. I love it.
Thank you. I actually want to make one for this next month. This is my June notebook.
Okay.
But I'm getting into the notebook thing.
I love
trying
it.
to be more organized.
It's hard, isn't it?
It really is.
I'm a binder girl. I have binders.
I tried the binder thing, and I'm really bad.
You're a notebook girl.
Yes,
It's okay.
I'm a notebook girl.
Yeah.
But so I actually wrote down when things are looking to be ready to harvest based on when we planted. So our lettuce will be ready around July 27th to August 11th. We'll have peppers that will be ready. Some are ready right about now, so July 12th through July 27th. And then in our raised beds, we've got some that we planted on June 16th, so those will probably be ready closer to August 10th to August 25th. Our onions, you could harvest them now and use them as green onions. They're a little small, or you could wait for August 16th to September 15th, and our onions will be ready. Tomatoes should be coming along right now, so I've got June 27th to July 27th. So they were still a little bit green the last time I saw them, but some people love green tomatoes. Brussels sprouts will be ready around August 16th. Potatoes, we're looking at August 16th to September 25th. Sweet potatoes, September 25th to October 5th. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're okay.
Summer squash, so those have started being ready around now, so July 7th to July 17th. We have some snap beans out there looking at July 12th to July 17th. Cucumbers, so they're ready now, but I had written down July 12th to July 27th, so they're a little ahead of the game. Pumpkins, we've got 6 pumpkin plants out there, which have taken over.
They grow like crazy, don't they?
Yes. Somebody was talking to me, and they were like, are you sure you want to plant 6? And I thought, I'm sure it'll be fine. I've never planted a pumpkin before. And I was, maybe we should have done 3.
Yeah, the pumpkin vines go a little bit, we do pumpkins every year, don't we?
Yeah,
Yes.
we have a bunch of pumpkins, and they're sprouting like crazy.
Yes.
The vines for us at home, took these last 2 weeks, the vines, just went crazy.
Yes.
Did you guys see kind of the same thing?
Yes, they are everywhere. So if you have any recommendations, we've been trying to pull them away from the other plants and direct them.
That's what we do. We just direct them. Move them over, right?
Well, I should have consulted with you guys.
We may have to go down to the community garden.
Absolutely.
We haven't been down there yet this summer.
I have no idea where it is.
I'll show you.
Yeah, gotta go check it out.
Yeah.
But our pumpkins, I've got written down that they should be ready around August 11th to September 5th. And then our radishes, we already harvested in the spring, so that was June 12th to June 17th.
It's amazing to me, too, how much you guys have had out in the garden.
Yes.
You've got a great variety of all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we had so much stuff donated from Expression Florist and Harvest Market. The land that we were allowed to use has been wonderful because they allowed us a 100-foot by 50-foot space.
Nice.
The raised beds that were donated, they were made so well, and they've been holding up so great. It's really awesome to go out to the garden and just see the culmination of everybody's hard work and donations, and really just a community coming together. So now we just need the community to reap the harvest.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's been a very, very good project. So
Yes.
I'm hoping next year we'll see it return.
I hope so. I do know that we are still combating weeds. So we are looking at things like cardboard or straw. If you are listening and would like to donate, maybe some old straw, preferably with no manure in it. Right? Nobody wants poop on their tomatoes. Yeah, so to use to help combat those weeds. So our plan is to take the cardboard, lay it down as a matting, and then cover it with straw. And that'll help with moisture retention too. But if you go out there, you will see we are really struggling to keep up with the weeds. And if you are somebody that's just looking for something to do, I always like to say take out your frustrations of the day on the weeds.
Pull those weeds, right?
Yes. Or if you're not a weed puller like that, if you're a bug squisher, we will use bug squishers too. Yes.
We're going to have to pay a visit to the garden.
Yes.
Before we go, you've got some numbers for 4-H as far as projects.
So we were talking about the animal check-in, and I thought it would be really fun to see the number of entries and fair entry. So this is not a number of animals that has been checked in. This is a number of animals that have been entered into specific projects. So they might be there, or I know sometimes people like to register everything in the barn just in case.
These are expected numbers, right?
Yes. Expected. But then you'll have to come out and check my numbers at the fair and see if we're right.
Yes.
So for beef cattle, there was 100 entries into fair entry.
Wow.
Which is awesome. For dairy cattle, there was 43 entries.
That's up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
That's great.
are there going to be 43 cows in the dairy barn? We'll see. We'll see.
Great.
You got to come out and check. But yes, I am a big fan of the dairy cattle. So actually that check-in I'm helping with tonight. So
fun.
Hopefully I'll count as they're coming in. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. Usually it's counting sheep that puts you to sleep.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
You should make it through the cattle.
Yes. The goats, we've got 156 entries in the fair entry system. Horses, there was 32 entries. Poultry, 170. Rabbits, 109. Sheep, 49. And swine, 146. So we will have to check with Chris and Nora and see if that many pigs came in.
We will. Yeah, we'll check at the end of the fair. We'll check numbers against the
Well,
expected.
I think, aren't they coming in a little bit later for Stock the Trailer?
Oh, they are. Yes. You're right. They sure
All
are.
right. Well, then you will have to ask them and check me. I'll leave this note here for you.
That way we'll know what's happening.
Yes. Yeah. Or maybe they'll say Sabrina's crazy.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
That's okay. I just counted on the entries on the fair entry, so if I'm wrong, I apologize.
Well, you've been awesome today. You've covered so many different things.
Yes.
And if people have questions about creepy crawly things or even things in their yard, right, you can help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know I've got some raspberries coming in to take a look at later today, where we're going to do a float and see how many bugs float out of the raspberries and try and see what's going on. I've looked at a couple trees over the past couple weeks. I've got another tree call sitting for me on my desk. So yeah, people are calling, and I invite you to call and see what's going on.
So fun. So yeah, if you have a question at home or you don't know, don't bring her a snake. You can take a picture, but don't take her the snake. I don't think Lana and Bonita would appreciate it. Yes,
and it's good advice if you don't know what type of snake it is, because we do have some that are medically significant to people, to just spray them with a garden hose and they'll leave.
Right. Just take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture.
You can tell from that, but
yes.
Ladies, I'm looking out for you. No snakes coming in the extension office.
Yes.
You guys are preparing for a really busy week, so we wish you the best of luck. Stay hydrated out there.
Yes, thank you.
We will see you around out there as well.
Absolutely.
And then we are going to talk about Stock the Trailer coming up a little bit later, but Stock the Trailer, they're still taking donations, and we're trying to win. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So
tune in this afternoon to hear more on that, and hopefully we win. I'm hopeful.
It's going to happen. We're Decatur County, dang it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
We've been close the last couple years, so I think this is our year.
Thank you for making the flower balls with us today.
Yes,
How fun.
What
did you think, James? Did you like it? It's a good project for this morning?
Yeah.
Very good. It was kind of like being in school, huh?
Do you think you could show your friends how to do this? Yeah.
Be a good demonstration for 4-H.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do they still do that at club meetings?
You do, don't you? Do you do demonstrations?
You already
did them for this year?
Yeah.
There's always next year. That's right. All right. Sabrina, thanks so much for being in today. We'll see you next month, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It's 10:52 on Tree Country, 1330.